the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic. But the evolution of eukaryotic cell from prokaryotic cell is a story of mutualism, no? A story of interdependence. No? So, why interdependence? Kasi di ba before, during the early days of the Earth, there was no oxygen or very minimal amount of oxygen. In short, the environment was anaerobic. So anything that is aerobic cannot exist, na? So ito 'yon, no? So walang anaerobic cell na pwedeng mag-exist, no? So that was the time when there was no oxygen yet. If you look at the history of the Earth, oxygen came in about na lang in the next 3.5 billion years if I'm not mistaken, no? Pero paano siya nag-umpisa? Nag-umpisa siya no, in the presence kasi all of them are the bacteria, anaerobic cells, no? And then there's one lone kasi nag-evolve yung Earth. There was one lone small aerobic bacteria na napadpad, no? And natakot siya kasi yung kanyang environment ay walang oxygen. Eh, paano siya mag-generate ng energy? And so, this uh, event is considered as the first endosymbiotic event where uh, that small aerobic body went inside uh, a big aerobic body and existed mutually uh, between each other. Anong gawa nung maliit na aerobic cell? Kasi efficient producer siya of ATP, di ba? So makakasupply siya ng maraming energy. But what about the big anaerobic cell? The big anaerobic cell provided protection to the small aero, no? And so that existed for so long a time, no? Until na-mention yata ni Michelle, ano yun, Michelle? The uh, what is that? Kasi yung sa photosynthesis, that's the cyanobacteria, proteobacteria. Okay, proteobacteria. So this evolved after so long a time, yung small aerobic proteobacterium that took refuge in the big anaerobic bacterium became the mitochondria that we have now in most eukaryotic cell. That is the first endosymbiotic event. Huh? Now, the second endosymbiotic event took years after the first symbiotic event when a cyanobacteria, no, instead of the protobacteria, went inside into a big anaerobic, and that gave rise to the chloroplast that we have. So, itong evolution ng chloroplast is a separate lineage actually from the evolution of the mitochondria. No? So, it is a story of endo. Why endo? Endo because within a cell, within, to be very exact, within the anaerobic big cell, the aerobic cell took refuge, no, and started to multiply. And after billions of years of evolving, we now have the eukaryotic cells that we know today. No? So we now have the modern photosynthetic eukaryote, which is typical of the plants and other some forms of bacteria, and of course the modern heterotrophic eukaryote, typical of the animals, and all other eukaryotic organisms. No? So you see, you call the endosymbiotic theory. By the way, this was proposed by Lynn Margulis. If you have heard about, very recent lang ito kasi si Lynn Margulis, dininay din siya ng scientific community. No? But she went on and she was able to present very concrete evidence. Ang isa na doon na mentioning Michelle, the kind of DNA that is present in both the mitochondria and the chloroplast. Of course, we know that there is a DNA in the mitochondria and the chloroplast, di ba? But the mitochondria present in the I'm sorry, the DNA, I'm sorry, the DNA that is present in the mitochondria and the chloroplast uh, is similar with the mitochondria of bacteria, and that is a prokaryotic cell. Na? So this DNA is actually circular in nature. That is very much different from the linear DNA that we have. Sa ating nuclear DNA, linear, di ba? Yung 23 pairs of chromosomes, linear DNA yon. But if we look at our mitochondria, the DNA, you call it mtDNA, are circular. For the chloroplasts in plants and other photosynthetic cells, they are also circular. So, ibig sabihin, nag-evolve galing sila sa pinaka ancestor, which is the bacterial cell, which has a circular bacteria. Okay, so thank you, Michelle, for showing this, because this is a very important event in biology, particularly in the history of cells. Okay, sige. Now, so balik tayo doon sa facilitation. Na? Yung facilitation. Kanina, we identified the significance of predation. What about facilitation? Ano naman yung significance nito in the ecosystem? Just like when you take it away from the ecosystem, what happens? Of course, si Roland will again say it will disrupt the community dynamics. But specifically, ano ang part ng dynamics na to ang maaapektuhan or will be impacted if you take away a facilitation from the ecosystem, like mutualism and commensalism? Huh? Anyone? Yes, Julie?
Ay, hello po ma'am and classmates.
Yes?
If I'm not mistaken po, yung example po ng facilitation dun sa report ni Ma'am Michelle, yung po bang grass na sa near sa body of water? Tama po ba Ma'am Michelle? And Sir PJ? Kasi po ang idea ko nga nito, since ang explanation niyo po is mutualism din siya, I'm just not familiar of the term facilitation in terms of symbiosis. But now, parang na-open up yung mind ko po na marami pala talaga pong facilitation dito sa sa
Julie,
ano natin.
mutualism and commensalism are examples of facilitation.
Opo ma'am, yes ma'am. Thank you
Uh,
po.
uh, uh, uh.
Siguro
Uh,
ma'am,
so ano ang, yeah, sige, continue, Julie.
Siguro ma'am, yung isang example ko din po ay yung recently kasi nag-travel po ako sa Tikaw Island. Ang dami po talagang examples doon ng relationships in the environment. The mangrove ecosystem they have there for me is the best thing that they can say na facilitates the environment there kasi napaka ganda nung nakukuha nilang benefits from the ocean, and it is protected by the government. That's why there's what we call protected area, and then people are getting a lot from it. And yun po, i-share ko din, nakakain po kami doon ma'am ng puffer fish. Marami,
Mm.
yeah, opo, marami po doon, ma'am and my colleagues na hindi familiar sa maraming species ng animals in the ocean. Like, I am somehow worried kasi sabi ko, there are a lot pa na pwedeng nilang kainin, pero hindi nila, parang wala silang pakialam. Minsan ang akala nila ma'am, lahat poison, or ang akala nila sa
Uh,
iba, opo, ang akala nila sa iba, bawal, parang ganun. Konti lang yung alam nilang pwede. For example, the pawikan, maraming pawikan silang nakikita, pinagbabawal. Pero yung meat
mm,
niyan, masarap daw po, ma'am. Tapos meron din silang pufferfish nga ma'am, natikman ko po yun and I helped the locals there na magtanggal nung mga tinik. Nakakain pala talaga po. Pero hindi lahat ng
Mm.
species po ma'am kasi may mga namamatay daw sa areas nila. And probably they are not aware on how to cook that certain food or animal. Yun po. Tapos meron din po sila mga mga birds just like the kingfisher. Makikita mo lang talaga sila sa gilid ng ng yung beach walk. And they are eating from the leaf, ay from the fruits. Yung po ma'am, sinabi
Mm.
mo last time yung pandakaki, 'di ba ma'am?
Mm.
Na ano mo yun ma'am, na mention mo last reporting, pandakaki, ano siya, very ano siya ma'am, yung thriving talaga siya sa mga beaches.
Mm.
Tapos sa atin ma'am, hindi ko alam kung edible siya sa human beings kasi may nagsabi na
Mm.
kasi predator talaga tayo, 'di ba po? Kaya nga
Mm.
natutuwa po ako na may ganitong tayo reporting kasi po, na-share ko din ma'am yung yung mga naging experiences po namin sa mga colleagues po namin ng mga teachers din. And
Mm.
then po ma'am, meron po akong isang na-research doon, yung plant na pandan.
Mm.
I'm not sure po ma'am kung edible siya, pero sabi daw may species na edible.
Edible.
Opo.
Yung pandan na linalagay sa ibabaw ng
Opo,
ng maluto.
may fruit daw po kasi ma'am yung isang pandan species, tapos kinakain daw yun. Pero the people there are not eating it.
Mm.
Opo. Yun lang i-share ko sa natin na ang dami pa pala pong mga coastal communities na kailangan i-inform sa mga in vegetables, I mean plants and animals na pwede nilang gamitin as food. Kasi
Edible.
yes po, kasi they are saying na taghirap daw sila. Like they can actually plant many things there and parang sa forestry, 'di ba? They can get
Oh.
food from the forest or from the ocean para hindi sila magutom. Yun lang po.
Okay, so parang education, no? But anyway, going back to facilitation, di ba from the examples that Michelle have given, uh, we saw napakaraming examples binigay ni Michelle sa kada klaseng kada klaseng mutualism, kada klaseng commensalism, ano? But we can see some common things there, no? That number one, yes, somebody is raising. Yes, Imelda? Melda?
Yes, ma'am. May I just share po, when it comes to facilitation, isa po sa mechanism niya is it brings beneficial effects among species on uh, on one another. And it is
Mm.
realized in many ways, such as facilitation can provide refuge for physical
Oo.
stress or from physical stress, predation and competition among species within the area. And
Oo.
it improves resource availability and ano po, yes po, it improves resource availability among the species within the area also.
Okay. Nafa-facilitate kung baga, no? Yeah, or it increases the access, no? Of the members of the community to the things that they need, to resources. That's correct. Sabi ni Imelda, no?
And
Maybe light,
transport daw po.
yeah, maybe water, and even nutrients, no? To that interacting species, no? Kaya like for example, in commensalism, sa commensalism nga, wala siyang pakialam, yung pala, natutulungan niya na yung iba, di ba? Kaya it's facilitative, being accessible or giving more access to the resources needed by the by the organism. Okay, sige. Oo, sige. Now, Michelle, I was interested on the predation, pre-predation, ano to? Combined isocline. Tama ba yun? Constitutive combined. Was that combined isocline? Combined. So, tama ba yung iniisip ko na sa combined isocline na yan ng predation, there is a predator isocline and at the same time, a prey isocline?
Yes po. Opo.
So what does the predator, what does each of this isocline tells us? Or kumbaga, ano to, implication. Kunyari, predator isocline.
If looking back again po, dito ma'am, for the combined
Okay.
isocline.
Sige.
Halimbawa po, for the small, yung first sa left po, ang tawag dyan, bottom right,
Quadrant,
halimbawa
ano?
po,
Quadrant.
parang quadrant eye po.
Ay,
So,
one. One.
At increasing prey abundance,
Okay.
may increase din po ng predator. So, magka-curve po siya ng ganito.
Ganito ang curve. Itong red.
Apa.
Okay.
And then, for this upper left, quadrant 2 po, if there's a decrease, magkakaroon ng decrease ng prey kapag nagtataas po si predator abundance.
Okay.
So, magka-curve po siya na.
So, itong curve na to, ano yan? Yung curve na yan, ano yan? That's being created. Ano yung curve na yan? Bro, ano is curve? What is that curve?
Ito na po, parang...
the isocline. That's the isocline. Okay, sige. So, iba't iba, there can be 4 possibilities pala. Diba? Quadrant, the first quadrant, kumbaga 3. That would be if you have a lesser number of predator and lesser number of prey. Ganito ang curve. No? Now, ang bawat isang isocline na to, is it influenced by, or rather, what influences these different kind of isoclines, itong 4 na isoclines na to, in a community, in an ecosystem? So it's a cycle? Is it a cycle?
Opo, cycle po.
A cycle within the community.
Consistency.
So, kunyari, at one time in the predator-prey relationship, it can be of this curve sa lower right quadrant, or maybe like this curve in the lower left quadrant. Ganun ba? Kasi kung cycle siya eh. Kung cycle, teka. Cycle, ibig sabihin, yes, PJ, would you like to say something?
Yes, ma'am. For the quadrant eye po, no? We can see na since yung curve niya, ma'am, even if increasing yung curve niya, dahil may point wherein hindi continuous or hindi ang term natin dun, ma'am, exponential yung pinapakita niyang growth. We can infer na baka kasi merong competition between those predators. So may fighting between the predators to eat the prey. So ang nangyayari po, kaya nagiging cyclic siya, ma'am, dahil may point of time wherein may fighting na nangyayari, halimbawa sa quadrant I. Pagdating naman sa quadrant 2, nagkakaroon, ma'am, ng mas bumababa siya, ma'am, kasi dahil possible na hindi nagkakaroon ng addition yung mga predators. Kasi if we remember yung equation, ma'am, kanina, no? Wherein naaapektuhan din yung predators ng mortality rate. So baka dahil mas mataas yung mortality rate, naka-counteract niya yung pagdagdag ng panibagong predators.
Correct.
So, parang walang babawas, or sorry, walang nadadagdag na predator.
Kaya pala, In analyzing these combined isoclies, you can even make use of your formula para ma-point out mo doon, ito ang bumababa, ito ang tumataas, ano. Pero cycle pala to. So, cycle. Kasi, ang naiisip ko kasi, kunyari, for a particular ecosystem, it would be quadrant 1 or quadrant 2, a characteristic of each of this quadrant. Hindi pala. It's a cycle.
Dun kasi ma'am, na-gets ko siya ma'am as a cycle kasi yung pagkalagay po doon sa book ni Peter Sterling, hindi niya po actually sinabi na cycle pero meron siya ma'am arrow as if showing
implying na cycle siya.
Na umiikot yung ganong process na may fighting between predators. May mga predators halimbawa dito territorial, may mga predators na o mas may time na mas marami yung numbers ng prey kontra sa predators.
Posible.
So, ganun ma'am yung lumalabas dito kaya naging ganun yung combine.
Okay, I understand now. At saka, it's not just a simple predation relationship. Napakadaming factors in the environment itself, no? Factors inherent to the participating organisms and even the whole environment itself. Di ba? So you see, ang gandang pag-aralan talaga nito. Ang gandang pag-aralan. Sige, ano pa ba? Any questions? Thank you, PJ, for that. Siguro, babalikan ko itong babasahin kasi actually, hindi mo naman naintindihan sa first, second, third. Ako nga kahit na pang ilang binabalikan at binabalik-balikan. Every time you read, you always pick up something new. Okay, so any question from, ang dami ko pa sanang gustong itanong kaya ay gustong i-share. But I know this will come out in the reports of those who will still be reporting later. Okay, sige.
Ma'am.
Yes, Julie?
Ma'am, I have a question po regarding the invasive species.
Yeah.
Kasi since ang topic natin is about relationship, how all of us here are educators and I hope we are sharing these good things to our students talaga, ma'am. I am not very sure about this invasive species being removed from the environment. Kasi ma'am, di ba parang mayroon din namang silang purpose. Hanggang saan po ma'am yung parang terminal na sasabihin natin they are all right dito sa environment natin or we need to vanish them 100%. Parang ano po yung basihan natin para sabihin bawal.
Tanggalin.
Opo, yes ma'am, exactly.
Michelle, would you like to say something on that?
Perhaps po siguro if we will see the effect of that to other species, kung ba na nalalesen na into a very minimal na yung kanilang population, I guess that would be a decision na, or we can evaluate na we need to control these invasive species.
Kasi, di ba, I do not know if you know that one of the main causes of breakdown in biodiversity is the introduction of invasive species. That's one of the many causes, no? Because of the introduction of invasive species, nadidisrupt, kumbaga, nadidistract, no? Yung normal functioning of an ecosystem. Kasi napakadaming mga sinike natin. Bakit ba? Anong nangyayari? Nasisira yung equilibrium kasi usually they are predators and they would mga etc. No? So from that point and also to answer the question of Julina, hanggang saan ba sila? I think the answer should be we should refrain from introducing invasive species in a community. We should refrain or as much as possible stop. Kasi nga nakakasira. Pero dahil nga sa mobility ng tao, actually it's always man. Hindi maiwasan na magdala ng kung ano, galing sa kung saan, papunta sa kung saan. No? Yeah, sabi ni Michelle, migration is also inevitable. Pero ang pinakaano talaga ko kayan, we try to let nature be. Let nature be. So, kaya that's the reason why pagdadala ng mga tanim-tanim kung saan-saan, lalo na papasok sa isang country, bawal. Diba? Bawal magdala ng tanim. Sa Baguio nga noon, ang dami kong gustong dalhin noon. Pero sabi nila, bawal. So that's the reason behind Julie. So, because invasive species are not at all, are they beneficial, Michelle? Are they beneficial? To some point, siguro, tama yung sabi ni Michelle na yung hindi siya makakasira talaga. Pero ano kasi, ang invasive species kadalasan, very fast to multiply, napakadaming mag-reproduce. Siguro kung mapapansin nyo, ganyan ang nature ng invasive. So, better still, do not introduce, do not bring, tayo mahilig mga plantita within the area, pwede siguro, pero yung maiiba na masyado, mark na masyado, yung conditions ng environment, then as much as possible, we do not introduce invasive. Okay, Julie? So siguro, we have to make a stand. We have to make a stand. Okay, any more questions? It's 2:10. Yung dalawa pa, yung tatlo pa kayo, ano na ba to? Sige. So, any questions for Michelle and PJ? Wala na? Michelle, please do not forget to upload your presentation, para lahat kami ay makakapag-review. Sige. So, kung wala nang tanong kay Michelle, then ang susunod sana sila Suset and Vanessa. Kaya pa ba natin, Suset? Anyway, kung hanggang saan tayo makaabot. It's 2:10. You still have 40 minutes. Sino ang mauna sa inyong dalawa? Maybe Suset or Vanessa?
Si Ma'am Vanessa po, Ma'am.
Si Ma'am Vanessa. Sige. So this is we're still on species interaction. No? Pero, ang i-discuss ni Vanessa is what? Herbivory? Herbivory, Vanessa?
It's like you
And
before 3
parasitism?
years ago. I like walking.
So kung hindi man natin matapos ngayon, then next week na lang. Sige. You can now start sharing your slides, Vanessa.
Oh. That's Kate and that's Emma. This is Emma, this is Kate.
Wala yata. Nandiyan.
Did you know? Because I learned this.
May problema ka ba, Vanessa, sa connection? Mukhang nawawala si Vanessa. I will wait a little.
New report. Bye for now. Okay, so for this video, you have watched me and my interaction with my class. I really love science and about natural things in the world. So as part of my graduate school studies,
Mukhang nahihirapan, Vanessa. Can you not...
I am
Okay, sige,
recording
sige.
this so that I can go back to the knowledge being shared to us by our professor and by my colleagues as well. They are all teachers also here in our region or around the world perhaps, but I can say is that I really love our sharings. So thank you for watching, and if this will be monetized, I want to give this to charity. So for now, I'll end this for a 30-minute video only. Thank you. Please like, subscribe.